Welcome back to another Eshop sales roundup. 2026 has started off slow, but it's really starting to kick off with the new releases. So I haven't been keeping as much as an eye on the Eshop deals as I usually do. But I had a little peek today and saw a few bangers, so I thought I'd get a video out. No massive AAA titles today, but some great little indies and some pretty heavy Fallout vibes. So, grab a brew and let's get right into it. Kicking off the list with the House of the Dead Remake, a classic on-rail shooter brought to the Switch with some modern polish. The best part of this is how instantly recognisable the series' over-the-top zombie chaos feels, and how the arcade shooter pacing keeps you constantly engaged. It's exactly as you remember it from the Wii and even the arcade version, constantly moving through stages with precise aiming and reaction-based shooting, trying to survive waves of the undead, and giant bosses that demand quick reflexes. It's quick, fun, and never overstays its welcome, but it still manages to deliver tension and challenge in every encounter. You'll likely only get a couple of hours out of this, but for $2.49 US or $2.99 Canadian, it's just cheap fun, and is 90% off in North America only until February the 12th. And next up, we have Killer Frequency, a quirky horror detective game that blends first-person exploration with puzzle solving and a touch of campy horror. Set in the neon-soaked 80s, you play as a radio DJ, and you must save your callers from being hunted down by a mysterious killer. The local police chief is dead, so the townsfolk turn to you for help, as apparently you're the only person in town who can run a phone line. It's fully voice-acted, with an 80s-inspired synth soundtrack, with fun, retro-inspired puzzles. It's not the most in-depth game, but it's fun. It will take you about 5 or 6 hours to complete, and honestly, that's okay. It's got great personality, and you really find yourself getting lost in the suspense or trying to find out who the killer really is. It's currently £4.19 or your regional equivalent, and is currently 80% off until February the 16th in the UK and Europe, and February the 13th in North America. And this next one is a banger. Project Warlock is a fast-paced first-person shooter that channels classic 90s FPS energy, bringing a bit of wizardry to your typical Doom game. It's got your typical gameplay loop you'd expect, constantly moving, dodging, and switching weapons to tackle waves of enemies. You'll find yourself tackling a relentless mix of strategy and reflexes, with each level introducing new challenges and surprises. The progression system rewards exploration and experimentation, keeping you invested as you unlock powerful upgrades and discover hidden secrets. Obviously, with this art design, there are no issues on the Switch. It's just an awesome game with a surprising amount of depth. You can squeeze about 8 hours out of this game, and with the combination of retro visuals, all the weapons and challenging enemy designs, it's a must-have for any fans of old-school shooters or anyone just wanting a compact, action-heavy adventure. Project Warlock is currently £3.24 or €3.74 and is 75% off in Europe only. Moving on to Atone, Heart of the Elder Tree, a narrative-driven adventure inspired by Norse mythology, set in a Midgard abandoned by the gods. You play as Estra, a young warrior seeking the truth behind her father's death while a mysterious corruption taints the land. The gameplay uniquely blends isometric exploration, logic-based puzzles, and rhythm-based combat. The battles mirror Guitar Hero style mechanics, where you strike notes to a synth-heavy soundtrack to defeat enemies, but it's a surprisingly in-depth narrative that really guides the story. Your dialogue choices and moral decisions significantly impact the branching narrative, determining the fate of Midgard, leading to multiple possible endings, all told for its beautiful, minimalist, angular and hand-drawn art style. Everything is created through sharp edges and flat polygons, instead of using traditional textures, and it really works. You can expect to squeeze about 5 hours out of this one, but for £2.69 or your local equivalent, it's worth it. It's currently 80% off until February the 23rd in the UK and Europe, and the 17th in North America. And in a similar vein, we have Aspire, Ina's Tale, a short and sweet 2D narrative adventure focused on exploration and charming story beats, and it's visually stunning. You follow Ina, a girl trapped in a perpetual slumber within a living, mystical tower. After suddenly waking up, she must navigate the tower's sprawling, diverse chambers to find her way home and discover why she was imprisoned. The gameplay really focuses in on environmental navigation and puzzle solving, utilising Ina's ability to manipulate spirits. By channeling light, movement and heat from these spirits, players can alter the tower's architecture to progress. I found it quite reminiscent of games like Grease and Limbo. It really does make every action feel meaningful, giving you a cosy, digestible experience without overcomplicating things. There are plenty of puzzles, and whilst they can be challenging at times, they never feel overwhelming. It's charming, approachable, and best of all, cheap. It's currently £2.69 or your region's equivalent, and is 77% off until February the 23rd in the UK and Europe and the 17th in North America. And next up, we have Monster Sanctuary, a hybrid Metroidvania exploration and turn-based monster collecting game. One that deeply integrates its combat, exploration and creature progression into one big cohesive system. There's a whole host of genres crammed into one, but none of them ever overwhelm one another. And the game constantly fuels progression, keeping you moving with new abilities and monster types unlocked regularly, ensuring you're always adjusting your strategy. There's nothing overly special about the visuals, but it looks fine and it plays great, all whilst offering well over 30 hours of content. There's a good amount of depth to it, but it's always accessible, and while some of the bosses are challenging, they are definitely the best part of the game, and continuously improving your strategy with different monsters and mechanics keeps the fatigue from kicking in. It's currently £3.99 or the price shown on the screen, and is 75% off until February the 13th in North America and February the 16th in the UK and Europe. And next up is the deal of the week. The Core Keeper Nintendo Switch 2 edition released today, and it's brilliant. It's an addictive sandbox action-adventure that blends the survival crafting loop of Terraria with the cozy automation and farming of Stardew Valley, and it's really hard to emphasize how good this game is. You begin the game as an explorer trapped in a sprawling, procedurally generated underground cavern, and to escape you must power up the core by defeating massive, screen-filling bosses. It's a game that has everything: base building, farming, fishing, and a robust skill tree that all emphasises the fantastic combat. You can mine through walls, automate ore production with conveyor belts, or explore diverse biomes like the Sunken Sea, and I can assure you that you will never find everything. I really can't recommend this enough, and with the recently implemented online co-op with up to 8 players, it turns the solitary act of survival into a collaborative subterranean banger. You can literally get hundreds of hours out of this, and you will still find new ways to play the game after that. The Switch 2 upgrade is free, and to buy it outright is currently £9.59 or your region's equivalent, currently 40% off until February the 4th in the UK and Europe and the 5th in North America. And this next one is a game I see on sale all the time, but I've never pulled the trigger, so today I decided to do just that. Atone RPG is a post-apocalyptic role-playing game inspired by the old-school CRPGs. It has a rich, detailed and reactive world with dialogue choices, quest outcomes and exploration all impacting your progression. It has an engaging story, turn-based combat with deep and tactical undertones, and a world that rewards attention to detail. Its post-apocalyptic aesthetic is gritty but readable, and the game's systems, skills, inventory and quests all interlock, and overall, it really gives off old-school Fallout vibes. It looks a little complex, and it might have issues on the Switch with storage management and inventory and stuff like that, but if it even comes close to anything like Fallout, it's definitely worth grabbing. It's currently £7.28 or your local equivalent, and is 70% off until February the 4th in the UK and Europe, and the 5th in North America. And speaking of Fallout, this next one is definitely up that alley. Chernobylite Premium Edition is a survival horror RPG set in the Chernobyl exclusion zone. It blends exploration, crafting, and tactical combat with a branching narrative. I've mentioned this game a few times now, and I still don't hear enough people talking about it. It's such a fun, challenging game with so many ways to play and approach it, mostly because every decision has a meaningful impact. Resource management, stealth encounters, and story choices all impact outcomes. The environment is immersive, detailed, and full of secrets, and the combat is challenging but fair. There's a constant, creeping tension throughout the game, and it's hard to explain, but the only way I can say it is it really does feel like a survival game. With its gripping story and moody atmosphere, this is one of the strongest offerings on the eShop, and is currently £11.69, or the price shown on the graphic. Currently 68% off until February the 17th in North America and the 23rd in the UK and Europe. The penultimate game is unfortunately a European exclusive. Rugrats Adventures in Gameland is a classic platformer with colourful visuals and accessible gameplay, and it really does nail the charm of the original TV show. It's short, sweet, and simple, but it looks great and it's fun to play. It's got all of your platforming tropes, simple puzzles, straightforward linear gameplay, and a pace that keeps you moving. You can play as all of your favourite characters, and they've all got their own unique play style. And whilst it's fun to explore and find all of the hidden collectibles, I don't think I'm alone in saying it's worth playing just for the visuals and the soundtrack. It's playful, nostalgic, and it's Rugrats. It's full of personality and charm, and it's easy to pick up and play. Rugrats Adventures in Gameland is currently £7.99 or €9.24, and is 50% off until February the 25th. And the final game this week is Going Under, a roguelike dungeon crawler set in the absurd world of a failed tech startup. It's a game that doesn't take itself too seriously and constantly pokes fun at the crazy world of Silicon Valley and modern startup culture. You play as Jackie, an unpaid marketing intern at the Bubbly Fizzle Beverages, and you join the adventure just as your job description quickly shifts from marketing to monster slaying, when you're tasked with clearing out the ruins of failed startups like the gig economy Joblin or the crypto-crashed Styx coin that have physically sunk beneath the office. The gameplay evolves around chaotic, psychics-based combat where almost any office object, laptops, staplers, body pillows, or plotted plants can be used as a breakable weapon. Between your runs, you build clout with your quirky co-workers to unlock mentorship perks and permanent skill upgrades. It's a vibrant, neon-coloured brawler that balances frantic action with sharp corporate satire. It's definitely not for everyone, but if you like the look of it, I'd definitely recommend picking it up. You're looking at about 10 hours of gameplay for £3.19 or your regional equivalent, an 80% discount until February the 16th in the UK and Europe, and the 13th in North America. And that wraps up this week's eShop Roundup. Some pretty great games, even if I say so myself. Not the most diverse selection. As I said, the sales are always a little underwhelming after Christmas, but if you look hard enough, you're always guaranteed to find a few gems. I'm trying to mix up the content a little instead of eShop vid after vid, and I'm sure it will be hit and miss with the reviews and topical content, but I want to try and keep things varied and evolve over time. But with that said, thank you all for the continued support. I've actually been getting sent a few game codes to review recently, so I'll be getting stuck into those, so keep an eye out on the reviews. Let me know in the comments if you picked anything up today or if I've missed any certified bangers. And like usual, if you found it useful or entertaining, feel free to like, subscribe and comment. But with that said, thanks for watching, stay cozy, and I'll see you around.